Welcome back. This year there will be no winter session of Parliament. The centre has decided to take that call given that we're in the midst of a pandemic and it would be ill-advised for so many members of Parliament to congregate for a session. The opposition is now raising hackles over the move, first by claiming that all stakeholders weren't consulted and then by claiming that the centre was running away from taking their tough questions. Both allegations were countered by the Parliamentary Affairs Minister in equal measure. Listen in.
मुझे लगता है सरकार नहीं चाहते इसी हालत में सदन चलाना, क्योंकि किसान की मुद्दा सदन चलाते ही आ जाएगी, सदन में उठेगी और सरकार सही जवाब देने में अपने को तैयारी कर रहे हैं। सही जवाब देना सरकार के पक्ष अभी नहीं है, सही तर्क रखना सरकार की बस में अभी नहीं है।
Government is quite on a strong footage. There is no question of running away. There is no question of shying away. Government, very recently we have concluded the session, and as far as the issue, calling for the session is concerned, we had a discussion.
दुकानें खुली है, दिवाली मनाई जा रही है, चुनाव हो रहे हैं, चुनाव में प्रचार रैलियां हो रही है, लेकिन जब संसद की बात आती है तब मोदी साहब संसद का सत्र लेने से कतराते हैं।
The government of India is gripped with fear when it comes to the winter session. Is it fear of COVID or is it fear of answering questions and being held accountable for the farmer protests that have been going on and with no answers coming from the government? No answers on the economy?
The decision of the government of not convening winter session of Parliament has once again been taken unilaterally. It is unfortunate that the ruling party does not take opposition in confidence in important decisions.
All right, Nupur, Shahzad, Ghanshyam and Ashutosh continue to be with us. Let me begin with you first. Ashutosh, the question that is being asked of the government, our government is asking is that if there has been a pandemic and we all know about it, we all know what happened in the last session when there were over 20 members of parliament who were infected. In such a situation, particularly when the vaccine is around the corner, what's the harm if we wait a month or two? That's the question the government is asking.
I can't hear them.
Ashutosh, I'm sorry, we have a problem with that audio line. We'll try and fix that.
Madhav, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead.
We can. See, Madhav, it's basically a kind of a lie which has been spoken. In this country, the election happened in Bihar during the pandemic and the COVID. And there was a big rallies were happening around there. When BJP won Bihar elections, there was a Vijayotsav, the BJP office, and then BJP did not think about that the COVID will spread. What is this? Either there cannot be two laws in this country. You can always have a different session, and you can always scatter the session. But you are running away basically. For the parliament, there is COVID. For elections, there is no COVID. If there is election in Hyderabad, there is no COVID. If there is a celebration has to be organized in the BJP office, no COVID. Out COVID.
Okay. Okay. Nupur, respond to that. All right, it's a direct question. Nupur, you can't have a situation where you have elections in Bihar, you have elections in the Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, and then you say the parliament cannot function because of COVID. Ashutosh is saying that's hypocritical.
I'm sorry, I mean, his comparison sounds a bit like Delhi government saying in Chhath Puja there is COVID, in Diwali Puja there is no COVID, and in farmer protests there is no COVID. However, the reality is 17 members before the session started were infected. Even after that, many were infected. In fact, the union minister also passed away. And we have seen how the former president passed away, how a very senior leader from the Congress party also passed away, and multiple such deaths have taken place over the past few months. So as far as, very urgent business is concerned, there is no such urgent business. As far as farmer business is concerned, it was discussed for 4 hours. Of course, we got to see, the country got to see how the opposition party members got together. Ashutosh, speak when spoken to, na? ठीक है, क्या हो गया? उस तरीके के रोना आ रहा है ना 2015 की तरह when the Kisan, you allowed that Kisan to commit suicide. No, wait, now he's laughing. He's laughing at farmers. He only said farmers committed suicide. He only said farmers committed suicide. Now he's laughing. Look at him. Look at him, Madhav. The whole
can't
country needs to
speak
see
lies,
today he's
Nupur.
laughing at farmers committing
Nupur, you
suicide.
can't even-
उस दिन अपनी
can't
रैली
even
में ही मरवा
speak
दिया था
lies.
और रोका तक
Can't
नहीं
even
था. But I
speak
want to
lies.
complete my
Come on,
point.
yaar. Don't get
Fact
so
of the
upset.
matter
Don't
is
get
there
so
is no
upset.
such urgent
Don't
business.
get so
And
upset.
those people who are,
Because you can't
Mother,
defend-
please,
can't
I don't want
defend-
background music. I don't want
can't
background
defend
music from riot supporters. Yes,
One at a time, one at a time, one at a time, please.
allow me
One
to
at a time. I'm
complete.
requesting all of you one at a time.
My point.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
certainly don't want background music from Tahir Hussain
Let me-
supporters, please.
All
Now,
right.
having said that, what is actually more important? Those very people who are saying, अरे फार्मर के प्रोटेस्ट की फार्म बिल की सच्चाई आ जाएगी. अरे जो सदन के अंदर थे वो तो डिप्टी चेयर के ऊपर हमला कर रहे थे, रूल बुक को फाड़ रहे थे, और बाकी जो आज कुछ ज्यादा ही बोल रहे हैं वो तो
Okay.
सदन में थे भी नहीं.
Okay, that's a point. That's a point that we need to ask opposition parties. Let me put that question across to Ghanshyam Tiwari. Ghanshyam Tiwari, when the parliament is in session, then a ruckus takes place, and the bills that are passed in the house also after the session, whether it's CA or whether it is in fact these farm bills, there are protests that take place outside. The bills are rejected. There is a move to repeal them. So, what is the point of running the house? Is the question that also the BJP is asking.
वेल माधव, दरअसल दिक्कत ये है कि मोदी जी को इस देश की संसद से डर लगने लगा है. उन्होंने संसद को भूतहा बता दिया है. अंदर जाते ही उन्हें नेहरू जी का भूत काम नहीं करने देता, इंदिरा जी का भूत उन्हें मजबूत प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनने देता, वहां शास्त्री जी का भूत जय जवान जय किसान कहता रहता है उनसे हमेशा. ऐसे वो संसद के अंदर जाएंगे कैसे? इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री डरे हुए हैं. जहां तक पार्लियामेंट फंक्शनिंग की बात है, between 1952 to 1972, Indian Parliament met for an average 120 days every year. 120 days. The British Parliament, the German Parliament, the UK Parliament, the US Parliament, every one of them meet more than 100 days. In the Modi government, the parliament sat just for 64 days. In fact, if you look at the 7 years of Modi government, there have been more Sundays of this Modi government than the parliament sittings. This is the lowest number of sittings that India has recorded in any 7 years of our track record. What are they saying? They don't respect the parliament. How can they say that we are not allowing them to work?
Okay.
They will not convene the parliament because there is Gujarat election. They will not convene the parliament because they don't want to face farmers and their dispute. Just think about the farmers. If we were discussing this on the parliament, the entire country will listen to it. The economy will be boosted because the government will come up with its logic. The best way to convince the farmers, if this government was sincere,
All right.
was to convince the
I want
farmers in
Shahzad
the
to respond to
parliament,
that.
not by hiding
I want,
behind this.
all right. You made your point. You made some pertinent points. Let Shahzad respond to that. Shahzad, simple question coming in over here is that the government is running away from its accountability. That is the question that is being posed by Ghanshyam Tiwari, and he is also saying at the same time what the Congress party has said, that there are some important questions that need to be asked even on this farm bill, because it's one of the biggest crises that this government has faced in recent days.
Okay, now let me respond, and I hope I won't be interrupted. First of all, when the monsoon session was happening at that time, all of these people got together in the Business Advisory Committee on September 19th, and they said that let's curtail that session because of Corona. तो तब करे तो
Yes.
ठीक, अब करे तो गुनहगार. दूसरी बात मैं आपको बताता हूँ, कमलनाथ जी ने भी कोरोना के लिए सेशन को मल किया था कर्टेल करने का, बंद करने का. तब यही कुछ पैनलिस्ट ने इसका समर्थन किया था. तो आप करें तो चमत्कार, दूसरे करें तो गुनहगार. एवरेज एज ऑफ पार्लियामेंटेरियंस स्पेशली राज्यसभा इज अबव 60. ये लोग गारंटी ले लेते हैं क्या? और चौथी बात, जो कानून पारित होता है पार्लियामेंट में, वे वैसे भी जाकर रोड पर ब्लॉक कर देते हैं. तो पहले लिखित में गारंटी दे दो कि पार्लियामेंट में जो होगा उसका विरोध सड़कों पर नहीं होगा. कम से कम इतनी गारंटी दे दो. सो यू नो दीज पीपल, दे रन विद द हेयर, हंट विद द हाउंड. दे हैव डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑफ द हाईएस्ट ऑर्डर. और ये लोग जो बात कर रहे हैं यूके, यूएस पार्लियामेंट, बाकी लोगों के पार्लियामेंट की, ये भारत के पार्लियामेंट की नई बिल्डिंग बन रही थी तो उसका भी विरोध कर रहे थे. तो इस तरीके के जो लोग हैं, इनकी मानसिकता केवल ये है कि विरोध के लिए विरोध. एंड प्रहलाद जोशी हैज रिटन अ लेटर बाय द वे सेइंग दैट एट द अर्लीस्ट लेट्स कन्वीन इट इन जनवरी इटसेल्फ. तो 10 दिन इधर उधर हो जाएंगे, वैक्सीन आ जाएगा, उसके बाद होगा, तो क्या दिक्कत है?
Ashutosh, the only question I'm asking, I'm coming to you. No, but just one second. Ashutosh, the only simple question that I'm asking over here is that if the government says that it has actually consulted with opposition parties before arriving at this decision, then is the opposition also shifting the goalposts at its own convenience?
ये सवाल तो आप अपोजिशन से पूछिए ना. मेरा तो बहुत सीधा सा सवाल है कि अगर बिहार में जीत के बाद बीजेपी के छोटे से दफ्तर में अगर इतने सैकड़ों हजारों लोग आ सकते हैं कोविड के समय में, तो पार्लियामेंट में क्यों नहीं आ सकते हैं? इसका जवाब तो नूपुर शर्मा दे नहीं रही हैं. उनको हंसने पर आपत्ति है, उनको हंसने पर आपत्ति है. अब क्या किया जाए? तो पहले ये सवाल का जवाब दे दो. चुनाव आपके लिए अच्छा है, हरियाणा में चुनाव लड़ेंगे, हैदराबाद में चुनाव, सब जगह चुनाव लड़ेंगे, और चुनाव ज्यादा जरूरी इनके लिए. सब लोगों की सेहत का ध्यान नहीं आ रहा था, तब नहीं ध्यान आ रहा था कितने लोगों को वहां पर कोविड हुआ, कितने लोगों को कोविड नहीं हुआ।
चलिए मैं
Okay.
सकती हूँ।
आप
He's
विजय
repeating
उत्सव
the same thing.
में
Okay, she's responding to you. Ashutosh, you made this point earlier, now she's responding to you. Yeah.
भाई साहब, मुझे नहीं, पूरे देश को आप ही के क्लेम पे कि 20 किसानों ने सुसाइड किया है, उस पे आपके हंसने पे आपत्ति होगी, ठीक है? सिर्फ मुझे ही नहीं, सभी को आपत्ति होगी कि मैंने जैसे शुरुआत में कहा था कि ये लोग किसानों की डेड बॉडी पे राजनीति कर रहे हैं। What do you expect for somebody who's endorsed Delhi riot accused? But you know, this is interesting. Not only this year, Shehzad. Last year, after a month, you know, is he a professional heckler? इनको पैसे मिलते हैं हैकल करने के क्या टीवी के ऊपर? वैसे आजकल और कोई प्रोफेशन तो है नहीं तो किसी के पैसे मिलते होंगे। But I want to actually make my point. Madhav, you have to stop him.
Okay. One at a time, please. Ashutosh, I don't think she interrupted you. Nobody interrupted you, sir. Just give her a chance. You can respond to her, Ashutosh. You can respond to her.
Fact of the matter is, nobody, including these extremely, self-loving people like Ashutosh or Ghanshyam, have ever seen a pandemic of this magnitude. In fact, nobody currently living has seen a pandemic ever in his or her life. But Shehzad, it's not only this year. Last year there was no pandemic. Opposition reunited against Parliament session extension when the
No, but Nupur, I want to also ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a simple question, Nupur.
Allow me to complete,
But it's in relation to what you're saying. It's in relation to what you're saying. Because there's a statement today that Mr. Prithviraj Chauhan has come out and said. He has come out and said that 105 nations have held parliamentary sessions during the pandemic. Also, we have seen assemblies, including in states where the BJP is ruling, such as Karnataka, where assembly sessions, there was a council session that was held today. So why is the parliament different?
It's not that the parliament did not convene during the pandemic. You are sounding as if the parliament never convened during the pandemic. It did. But where's the urgency? You know it is a pandemic situation. Do you want to lose the entire cabinet, the entire parliament and have
But we all know there are 3 sessions in a year, Nupur.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Certainly.
No, the more the MPs actually go down to it, there will be more elections.
Incidentally, Nupur, the pandemic was at its peak when the monsoon session happened. It's actually ebbed now. The number of cases in the national capital has drastically fallen now.
No, the parliament happens to be in Delhi. It was in peak in November. Please remember that.
I'm talking about the national cases. Members of parliament come from across the country, not just from Delhi.
The parliament convenes in Delhi, Madhav. The parliament convenes in Delhi.
Of course, but I'm saying MPs come from across the country, Nupur.
Delhi in November.
MPs come from across the country. They don't just come from Delhi.
And that's why even when they were tested before the parliament convened, 17 of them were tested positive. And even after they were tested negative, they still tested positive in a short duration of a parliament session. However, last year, when a month-long parliament session went on, interestingly, the government said from the last session, we have a lot of urgent bills pending. Let's convene for another 10 days. The entire opposition reunited against the government saying, nahi, hame 10 din aur nahi baithna. On July 23rd, 2019, us time pe kaun si urgency, kaun si disaster management chal rahi thi.
All right, I want Ghanshyam to come in on this. Ghanshyam, our opposition party is shifting the goalpost constantly. I put this question to Ashutosh as well, because you have the government coming out and saying that we have informally informed all the opposition parties. Also during the last session, they wanted the session to be cut short, to be adjourned sine die about a week before. In such a situation, why are they now coming out and raising questions of the government when several opposition leaders themselves are septuagenarians and octogenarians?
Does anyone really believe that Prime Minister Modi wants a serious debate on anything in the parliament, especially the farm bill?
No, Ghanshyam, you're not answering my question. You're not. I asked a pointed question of Nupur. She responded to that. I'm asking you a pointed question. I'm asking you a pointed question about. One second, Nupur, 1 second. I'm asking you a pointed question, Ghanshyam, about the position taken by opposition political parties in dealing with the government when it comes to the parliament session. Please respond to that specific question. Have they agreed to adjournment, and are they shifting the goalpost now? Yes or no?
If the government is so sincere, this government who said they had consulted 92 lakh farmers but could not show, if the government is so sincere, let them put out letters in public record which have acceptance from any leader of opposition or legislative party.
He said it's informal consultation,
who leads the party, saying that they have accepted.
He said there was an informal consultation.
This is what is informal consultation?
Talking about the phone is informal consultation. Meeting one-on-one is informal consultation.
They live on fraud. They don't have letters to show. So they are saying informal consultation. Nupur, I was not heckling you. I'm just saying this government
I'm not
has
heckling
no
you. I'm just
explanation
giving you a
for
point.
diminishing the
Which
role
you
of
have never
Parliament.
responded
Think about
to.
it. Parliament meets
Akhilesh
54
Yadav,
days,
Chief Minister,
60 days in the last 7
2006, we
years.
want to open to
On a
private
Okay, one at a time.
basis,
No,
they have a place to hide.
one second. Let him make his point. Let him make his point. Let him make his
Parliament
point.
to function. Mr. Jaitley, the late Mr. Jaitley, and the entire BJP said that it is part of the opposition to ensure that the Parliament doesn't function if the opposition wants to watch
Okay.
country's opinion.
Okay.
So BJP cannot hide that they don't want
Quick
Parliament
response
to
from
function.
Shehzad. Quick response from Shehzad.
My simple question to Ghanshyam and Ashutosh: when Congress-ruled governments cancelled the assembly sessions, example Madhya Pradesh was a case in point, were those governments also running away from debate and anti-democratic? और आशुतोष जी, आप हंसते हैं, रोते अच्छे लगते हैं, पर मुझे बताइए ना, राहुल गांधी तो पार्लियामेंट वैसे ही नहीं आते, मॉनसून सेशन भी ब्लॉक किया, बंक कर दिया, तो वो रखेंगे भी तो जाएंगे कहाँ? वो तो विदेश में घूमते रहेंगे, आपको बड़ा नुकसान हो जाएगा।
माधव,
सेशन करवाएंगे, आएंगे नहीं।
आशुतोष,
माधव, शाहजाद पूनावाला अभी भी कांग्रेस से निकलने के बाद उभर नहीं पाया बेचारा।
सर, आप आम आदमी पार्टी से कहां उभर पाए? आप आम आदमी पार्टी से कहां उभर पाए?
राहुल गांधी, the fact is,
Sir, you are in love with Kejriwal. I am in love with Rahul.
The Congress party. So if the Congress party has not done something, why the BJP is running
अरे
away?
पर टेक अ पोजीशन ना आशुतोष, आप कांग्रेस जाए, कांग्रेस की वकालत भी करें, पोजीशन तो लीजिए।
कांग्रेस प्रीमिया, don't support the Congress India.
You don't become unofficial spokesperson of Congress. Take a position on them.
No.
वो करे तो चमत्कार, दूसरे करे तो गुनेगार, ये ना करे। आप जर्नलिस्ट हैं, you are a senior journalist.
Turn to you.
Aam Aadmi Party has a history of physically picking up MLAs from opposition and throwing them out of the Delhi Secretariat.
Okay.
So ये session convene करने की तो बात ही ना करें. They physically marshal out opposition MLAs in Delhi Secretariat.
All right.
So ये तो
But you know, I want quick 10-second response from you, Nupur. Manoj Jha said that this is a hallmark of the too much democracy syndrome. Quick response from you on that.
What do you mean by too much democracy syndrome? Of
We
course
heard the
there is too much
statement, sir. We heard the
democracy
statement of a senior
when you're
bureaucrat.
When you're joining issues of demanding for release of Sharjil Imam and even Umar Khalid, sent behind bars by the honorable court because they're accused under UAPA.
Okay.
Of course, when you sit as the national president of your party, grand old Congress party, in support of Tukre Tukre, Bharat Tere Tukre,
Completely out of time. Completely out of time. There, Nupur Sharma, Shehzad Poonawala, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Ashutosh. I have to thank all of you for joining us on India Upfront. Clearly, of course, we leave it to our viewers to decide whether a parliament session is really required at the peak of the pandemic. Does it actually impede or in any way impede on the democratic rights of citizens? We leave it for our viewers to judge for themselves. Thanks so much for joining us.